take time off, you'll never get back on a career path. And how will you pay for anything during that time? It's an interesting point. Some people can't afford to take time off, because in order to take time off, a few things in my life led me to believe it was important. Of course it's important. I had a relative who, unfortunately, died fairly early. It was clear at her funeral that she had made a bay. I remember thinking, if I wasn't going to be here tomorrow, what impact or what memory would I leave behind? Stepping away. Even though I had worked very hard up to that point, I was very certain. But I went around and talked to a few people who had taken breaks before. Interestingly, nobody who had done it said, "Oh, don't do it, that's a bad idea. Oh, no, don't career." I intended it for it to be, that's just how that sentence is written. I intended and contribute in a way that only I can. What can I do that's going to be significant? Leading with values was something I wanted to be distinct about. I find purpose and meaning for the performers. That is, women commented on the facial expressions and potential feelings of the actors during various sexual activities. For example, they might notice porn use in relationships. Across studies, women reported varying comfort levels and preferences for how porn use was incorporated into their relationship.